And now we arrive at the fifth of the 8 principles, which is entitled Unprejudiced. Unprejudiced.
Right.
And so we want to open uh, with a definition of this because this is a word that can immediately be associated with some more, politically focused things. How, Rick, is, if you'll define it and then answer this question, how is unprejudiced one of the principles useful in having healthy relationships?
So being unprejudiced is having to do with being free from bias, in which we show up often with we think we have the answers, we think we already have things figured out. And so what we're trying to do is position ourselves to be more open-minded and receptive to what somebody else's perception might be, what their experience might have been. If they're giving you feedback, you're able to incorporate the other principles that we've gone over because it allows you to position yourself to be more open minded. And so you know that you've been struggling with this sometimes whenever you recognize that you get very defensive. You're quick to become defensive if somebody
Mm.
points something out. You might be argumentative, find yourself in a lot of disagreements over minor things, and it's difficult to allow somebody else's opinion or perception or input to be there. Maybe we're reluctant to see our past experiences from a new perspective. So positioning yourself to see things differently. Like if you have sat through these others that we've already covered, you're making some progress with open-mindedness, or because you're allowing yourself to experience the little bit of uncomfortableness. Maybe, like we had said before, you disagree with some of this, but you're still listening. And we had talked about this before, was how open do we want to be? And we want to be positioning ourselves to be unprejudiced, to check ourselves, but how open do we become? And
Yeah, that was because we always hear that. I say we always. I have regularly heard that concept of you don't want to be so open minded, your brains fall out. Ha
right,
ha. But
right.
the concept is there's a degree of open mindedness that is dangerous. So you're bringing up something that I was going into right away, which is when you're talking about being free from bias, free from um, and I'm assuming this includes assumptions.
Correct. That's
Free
very
from
good.
bias,
Good
free from
point.
assumptions,
Right.
walking into a relationship where you're not immediately dismissing someone based upon the clues that you think you see,
Hmm.
or immediately embracing someone based upon the clues you want to see, genuinely trying to not assume, genuinely trying not to create a bias, but being open-minded in the relationship. So you're going to have to help steer us with some parameters here, because it's of course not unwise. I'll put it all in the negative. It's not unwise to use your past experiences and use some context clues in order to make smart judgments before you're like walking up to a stranger, for instance, right? And
Yeah.
in a long term relationship, you even feel like you have maybe more confidence in what you know, air quotes here, know about the person. So if this is a principle of a healthy relationship, help me work that out a little bit in front of everybody. What is this referring to that separates good judgment from assumptions and bias? And what does it look like to be open minded in a healthy way?